Hello everyone, my name is Isabella Loggiato and I will be presenting our Grand Theory group presentation focused on Virginia Henderson. We are group 5. Virginia Henderson, also known as the Nightingale of Modern Nursing, was born on November 30th in 1897 in Kansas City, Missouri. Her family relocated to Virginia at the age of 4, where she carried out the rest of her childhood. Virginia was the 5th out of 8 children. Her father was formerly a teacher at the school that she grew up attending, which was a preparatory school owned by her grandfather, and then he moved on to become an attorney that represented a Native American population in America. She started her nursing education at the Army School of Nursing in Washington, D.C. at the young age of 21, and most of her nursing education was actually based out of Columbia University. She graduated from nursing school in 1921 and began practicing at the Henry Street Settlement, which is a community center in New York City that offered social services and healthcare programs, and they had a pretty decent-sized VNA. And then she moved on to become a nurse educator at the Norfolk Protestant Hospital in Virginia in 1924. On this slide, we have a picture of her graduating class from Columbia University and just the Henry Street Settlement logo. After 5 years as working as a nurse educator, Virginia Henderson decided to further her education by returning to Columbia University to officially obtain her bachelor's and master's in nursing. And for the following 16 years after that, she taught at Teachers College while practicing nursing at some of New York's teaching hospitals. In 1939, she was asked by Macmillan Publishing Company to write the 4th edition of the Harmer textbook, which was frequently used for educating nursing students. And then in 1955, she went on to publish a revised version of the Harmer and Henderson textbook, which was titled The Textbook of Principles and Practice of Nursing, which you can see a photo of here. Henderson believed that with the introduction of antibiotics and shorter hospital stays, the ideologies of Nightingale's nursing theories were becoming more of a thing of the past. In 1953, Henderson began working as a research associate at the Yale School of Nursing, where she found that most studies focused on nursing themselves, not the care that they delivered, which was something she wanted to shift the focus of. In 1972, she completed the Nursing Studies Index, which included 4 volumes, and began working on the 6th edition of Principles and Practice of Nursing at the age of 75. She was a major advocate for universal health care, and she believed that for-profit health care was just an absurd principle. And she passed away on March 19th in 1996 at the age of 98 at a hospice center in Branford, Connecticut. And she was laid to rest in her family plot in Bedford County, Virginia. This is a very nice photo of her grave. This is a nice quote from Virginia Henderson, which kind of just embodies nursing practice as what it is, and the effect and profound influence that we can have on our patients, and just how important our practice is. The philosophical underpinnings of her theories: women were subservient and nurses even more so. Nurses were considered nothing more than glorified domestic servants to the doctors, which probably influenced her opinion that nurses should be more loyal to the patients rather than the doctors. She described the nurse's role as substitutive, doing for the person, supplementary, helping the person, and complementary, working for the person, with the goal of helping the person become as independent as possible. And that is really the foundation of her theory. Her emphasis on basic human needs as the central focus of nursing practice led the further theory development regarding the needs of the person and how nursing can assist in meeting those goals. Her goal was actually not to develop a theory of nursing, but rather define the unique focus of nursing practice. The nursing need theory is the grand theory that she developed. It focuses on the idea that independence should be fostered within patients through focusing on basic human needs and how the nurse can assist with those needs. The 4 main assumptions include nurses are to care for patients until patients can care for themselves, really fostering that independence. Patients want to return to health. Nurses are willing to serve patients and devote themselves to them day or night. And nurses are best educated at university level for both arts and sciences. This is a graph of the 14 components of Henderson's nursing need theory. As we can see on the left side, we have more basic human needs such as breathing, eating, drinking, eliminating body waste, so on. And then on the right-hand side, we have a little bit more complex, worshiping according to one's faith, communicating needs, emotional, physical, so on and so on. How can we apply this theory as nurses? For our patients, basic human needs and independence always need to be addressed regardless of that person requiring nursing care, not only illness care. So we are not just focusing on what brought them to the hospital, but we're focusing on making sure that they're still maintaining their hygiene, eating a good diet, getting adequate rest. Their health is represented by the ability to perform basic human needs and activities of daily living. We always need to account for the biopsychosocial needs of the patient. Their environment, we need to optimize an environment that creates supportive healing via the 14-step model. And then with nursing care, aiding the patients in ADLs, but also encouraging them to do as much as they can for themselves while supporting their health recovery or a peaceful death. One of the studies that we looked at was organ donation after brain death. It's important to remember that nursing care not only involves the patient, but the family, so we can apply Henderson's theory to this case. We would need to apply basic needs such as adequate oxygenation, achieving hemodynamic stability, and normal volemia through fluid and electrolyte repletion to preserve the viability of the organs while the patient is awaiting organ procurement. And then therapeutic communication needs to be utilized to keep the family and loved ones informed of the process. Open, honest, direct, and compassionate communication is completely necessary in a case like this. And then another study looks at bullous pharmacoid and Henderson's theory. Bullous pharmacoid is a life-threatening group of autoimmune diseases. The study was published in International Journal of Nursing, and it was aimed to assess the effectiveness of Henderson's theory on this population of people with BP. It basically surveyed 31 nurses that typically took care of this population, and the study found that there was a significant increase in knowledge and practice in the nurses when applying Henderson's theory. And the study led to recommend that organizations provide regular education opportunities for nursing regarding this nursing theory to enhance their practice. The parsimony of Henderson's theory is the foundational approach of the 14 activities for client assurance. The wide range of areas of nursing that could be potentially affected shows the depth of complexity that this theory holds, especially these days. There's so many different fields of nursing and different populations that we're working with. The medical advancements that we've made have really changed the nursing practice. There's a vast amount of value in extending nursing science. Inside the science of nursing lies a variety of schools of thought that is helping propel nursing as a profession and an academic discipline. Leaders in the profession of nursing state that it's critical to advance the development of nursing theory in order to improve the practice of nursing and propel nursing as a science, basically. The middle range theory application, we looked at the synergy model, a middle range theory that's used by the AACN. The central idea of this model is that a patient's needs will dictate what competencies nurses need in order to provide patient care, which kind of plays off Henderson's theory because we're looking at caring for the patients while still trying to foster independence and not totally just doing everything for them right off the bat. And then this is just a nice little graph of the goals and ideas of the synergy model. And then these are our references. So thank you so much for listening to our presentation, and we hope you learned a little bit more about Virginia Henderson and her nursing need theory.